You know that feeling, right? Like you're just running on a treadmill. You pour in all this effort at work, in your personal life, and then you look back and most of it didn't really move the needle. It feels like the world is just, well, unbalanced. Like our efforts don't really match up with our results. But what if I told you there's a predictable, almost mathematical reason for that imbalance?
It's a question we all ask ourselves. We're so busy, right? Juggling a million things, crossing stuff off our to-do lists. But at the end of the day, what actually mattered? What really created the results we were hoping for? Man, that feeling gets right to the core of a frustration so many of us feel every single day. See, the problem is, we all kind of walk around with this mental map that says things should be fair, balanced. We expect a 50-50 split. 50% of our effort should logically create 50% of our results. But reality? Reality is wonky. The truth is, the universe is predictably and fundamentally unbalanced. It's just not a 50-50 game.
So, if it's not 50-50, what is it? What explains this frustrating imbalance we all feel? Well, the answer is this incredibly powerful, century-old idea. It's called the 80-20 principle. And let me tell you, it is the secret to understanding why a few things in our lives matter so much more than everything else.
So what is the 80-20 principle? At its core, it's actually beautifully simple. It says that a small fraction of your causes, your inputs, your effort, leads to the vast majority of your results, your outputs, your rewards. Think about it like this. Roughly 20% of what you're doing is probably generating 80% of your success. And the crazy part? That other 80% of your effort, it's only producing a measly 20% of your results.
Look at how this is laid out. That small little sliver on the left, that represents your effort, your causes, your inputs. And then look at how it explodes into that massive area on the right. Those are your results, your rewards. It is a completely lopsided relationship. And once you really truly grasp this, you start to see the entire world in a totally different way.
And this is not some new productivity fad. It all started way back in 1897. An economist named Vilfredo Pareto noticed that about 80% of the land in Italy was owned by just 20% of the people. Then, fast forward to the 1950s, a quality guru named Joseph Juran takes this idea, calls it the rule of the vital few, and uses it to help revolutionize Japanese manufacturing after the war. By the 60s, even IBM was using it to make their computers faster, realizing that just 20% of the computer code was doing 80% of the actual work.
Okay, now here's where it gets really fun. Because once you have this 80-20 lens, you'll start seeing this pattern absolutely everywhere. I mean it. It's hiding in plain sight. Let's just rip through a few examples. It's not just in economics. It's all over society. Studies show time and again that a small handful of offenders are actually responsible for the vast majority of crime. Same thing on our roads. It's a small minority of drivers, just 20%, that cause the lion's share of accidents. But it gets super personal, too. Just think about your own closet right now. Come on, be honest. You've got your favorites, right? That small handful of shirts and pants that you wear over and over, while the rest of it just kind of hangs there. Yep, that's 80-20 in action.
And get this, sometimes the imbalance is even more extreme. In Hollywood, it's not even 80-20, it's more like 80-1, where a tiny fraction of blockbuster movies, just over 1%, rakes in almost all the money at the box office. It's wild.
So what does all this tell us? The conclusion is just so clear, and it's maybe the most important point of all. We live in a world where only a few things are critically important. Most of what we see, most of what we do, most of what we worry about, it's just noise. It's part of the trivial many, not the vital few. Okay, so understanding this principle is one thing. It's fascinating, right? But the real question is, how do we actually use it? How do we turn this insight into a practical toolkit to get more of what we want with way less wasted effort?
Well, there are basically two ways to do it. First, you've got 80-20 analysis. This is the numbers approach. It's quantitative. You dig in, you investigate, you get the hard facts. On the other hand, you have 80-20 thinking. This is more of a mindset. It's qualitative, a bit fuzzier, and it's all about using the principle to generate powerful insights.
In a business, 80-20 analysis is an absolute game changer. It means you stop treating every customer and every product like they're equal, because they're not. You do the work to find that vital few, that 20% of customers driving 80% of your sales, or that 20% of products creating 80% of your profits, and you pour all your best resources right there. And in your own life, 80-20 thinking is just as powerful.
I mean, think of your life like a garden. What are the few beautiful flowers that bring you 80% of your joy, and what are all the weeds that are just taking up space and energy? The goal is simple. Spend way more time watering those flowers, the people and activities that really matter, and be ruthless about pulling out the weeds.
So when you boil it all down, this isn't just some interesting theory to talk about at a dinner party. It's a challenge. It's a call to action, to stop wasting your precious time and energy on the 80% of stuff that just doesn't matter, and to go all in on finding and nurturing your vital few.
There's this quote from the physicist Joseph Ford that just nails it for me. He said, "God plays dice with the universe, but they're loaded dice. And the main objective is to find out by what rules they were loaded." That's it, right there. The world isn't random. The dice are loaded in favor of the vital few. And the 80-20 principle, that's the secret rulebook.
Ultimately, making any real progress in life comes down to being what the writer George Bernard Shaw called the unreasonable person. It means you refuse to accept the status quo that says all efforts are equal. It means having the courage to look at what's truly working, that amazing 20%, and doubling down on it, while having the guts to just abandon the rest. So, I'll leave you with this one final question. Seriously, forget about your giant to-do list for just a second and ask yourself this. What is the 20% in my work, in my relationships, in my life that is truly, genuinely creating 80% of my happiness and success? If you can find the answer to that, you've found the key to everything.